Welcome. I'm going to do a quick tutorial on our project, which is called Mission Impossible Inverse. For those that were missing the day or didn't get it while I was going in class, I want to just quickly go through how we're going to do a little bit of code breaking. All the information is online about the different things that I want you to do, but for finding the inverse, what I created was an encryption. And we encrypted a bunch of values, all right? You can see that through the encryption numbers right here. And what we did was I created a message, a decrypted message, which is each number is correlated to a number that depicts a letter or some sort of value along this decrypted message. Oops, we have that right there. So you can see that 1 equals A, 2 equals B, 3 equals C, and so on and so forth. And these numbers have been scrambled. They've been decrypted, okay? Or encrypted, not decrypted, encrypted into some sort of values. And this is the encryption, right? All from some numbers were inputted into this function. And this function encrypted these values. Now what we want to do is we want to figure out a function key. The function key essentially is the inverse. The inverse of this function, because what we know is that a function composed of its inverse equals the value you plug inside. So what we have here is our function is going to be f of x. I plugged in numbers associated with letters into this function, and what I got out is an encrypted value. Now, in order to figure out this new value, okay, I'm going to use and find the inverse. Because inverse functions, I'm going to find the inverse of x. And what I want to do then is take my encrypted values, and those are now going to be my inputs, because if you recall, functions, or inverse functions, everything is switched. So I plug in the actual number, that means the letter, all right, and I get out an encrypted message. In the inverse, I'm going to plug in the encrypted number, and that's going to give me my actual letter, or actual number, / the letter that I should be using. So I'm going to go through this process and how to do this. So to do this first part, we're going to take this function, okay, this function, and we're going to find its inverse, okay, and we're going to plug it in and fill out this little chart, all right, using the spreadsheet, Google spreadsheet. So I'm going to take f of x equals 5x minus 2, okay, so I'm going to go over here, and I'm going to erase this right there. Okay, and we're going to take 5x minus 2 over 7, and that equals my function, or y. I'm going to switch my x and y values. So now I have right here, so that's how we find inverses. I'm going to have 5y minus 2 over 7 equals x. Now from here, I'm going to solve for y now. I'm going to have 7y, I can add 2, I have 5y here, okay? Multiply both sides by 7, add the 2 to the other side, and I'm going to divide by 5. Now when I do that, all right, I find my new inverse. Okay, that's my inverse function. And I'm going to now show you how we're going to punch this into our spreadsheet. So from here, I'm going to show you that we're going to write on our spreadsheet y equals, we're going to take this, and y equals, and we'll put parentheses, 7x plus 2 divided by 5. That's our inverse. Now, to find this, we're going to use our key, our function key. And I'm going to use this spreadsheet, and I'm going to take and create an equation. So when you're doing this, our equation, in order to write an equation using Excel, we're going to take and you can touch that, or you can go up here. We're going to write an equation. Now to start this, f of x, as you can see right here, or our new inverse function key is going to be f of x is going to equal, so don't put y equals, it's going to equal, and we're going to punch this in here. And we're going to have 7. Now our x value. Our x value, if you recall, is actually our, now the encryption number. So I'm going to say multiplied, because that's what we're going to do, we want to write that out, multiply by this value. Okay? And it's going to be plus 2, close parentheses, divided by 5. I press that, I get 8. Now, what is 8? Now, if you look at this, 8 is equal to h. I'm going to put an h in there. So that's part of my message. Now, to make this a little bit faster, we can go through, and now we have to do this for every single one. So we can go 7 times the next one, that's our new one, plus 2 divided by 5. And press enter again, and we get 9. And you can see 9 is associated with I. Put I there. Now, to make this a little faster, this is how you can use spreadsheets. Is two different ways. You can copy this value, because you can copy this equation. And since we're using this cell, what it's going to do is that the spreadsheet will actually do the same pattern by taking 7 times whatever this value is, the corresponding D value that's on the same row, all right, times it by 7, add the 2, and then divide by 5. Now, to do that, two different ways. You can either A, drag this all the way down however far you want to go, or you can either take that value and copy, or so go to edit, go copy, and then paste the operation right there as well. Now from here we can go through and just write this out. So we have HI 27. 27 is a space, so space meaning it's just an open space. 5 is E. 22 we can see is V. 5 is E. 18 is R. 25 is Y. 15 is O. 14 is N. 5 is E. And then finally 30 is exclamation point. And what we have is this. Hi, everyone. Oh, is that pretty nice? So this is how you would go through, and what you have is different missions. Okay, and now you have to repeat the same thing and find the decrypted message for the remaining 2 examples. So we have mission A, mission B, or some of you might have mission C and mission D, and then you have to write a final reflection. Let me get rid of this right here as we go through. All right, and you have final reflections. And the reflection portion, what is the domain of the function's inverse, of the inverse function, what is the range of the inverse, and so on and so forth. If you go on here and then click on comment, you can put a comment on for these, and from here you can write down what your different values are. Okay, so I hope this helps you in understanding how you can find and complete these impossible missions, or mission possible, I should say, all right, and decrypt some different messages that I have laid out for you using functional inverses. So hopefully you can better understand how inverses are used, how their properties of the composites are also used, and plugging one value in for another one gives you the inputs and outputs and how those are switched. And hopefully you have just a little fun doing a little bit of deciphering. All right, so good luck, and God bless.